Good evening, CSEC Math Scholars. Welcome to another live CSEC class. This evening, we are going to be doing some paper 2 questions in ratio and proportion. That's the topic we're focusing on today, and this comes under the topic of computation. Before we do that, I'm going to play our schedule of live classes. We have 5 live PEP classes per week and 6 live CSEC classes per week. So here's the schedule. Hello CSEC math students, I know you are busy preparing for your math tests and your CSEC exams coming up. I have a very important question to ask you. Do you like my new hat? Thank you. Now another important question. Have you ever gotten a math problem wrong simply because of making one little mistake? I'm sure you have, as thousands of other students have. Now in this series, we're going to be looking at the common mistakes that students make with all the topics in CSEC Math. We're going to look at the common errors, demystify everything, make sure you watch every video in this series so that you can avoid making those mistakes. So stay tuned. Hello scholars, did you know that most times when students get problems wrong in mathematics is as a result of one single error or one mistake? Well, this is absolutely true, and we're going to be looking at the common errors that students make in the different topics in mathematics. If we know the errors beforehand, we can certainly avoid making them. Are you ready? Come on, take my hand. All right, so here we go. Let me welcome scholars to join me on screen. Welcome Imani.
Good afternoon, Miss.
Good afternoon, and welcome Asar.
Afternoon, Miss.
Good afternoon. Okay, so we are going to be doing ratio and proportion. All right, so let's get into it then. Let me share my, let me not forget to share my screen this time. All right, so it's CSEC Math Paper 2. The topic is computation and the subtopic is ratio and proportion, and these are mixed questions. So let's look first at what is ratio. How would you explain ratio, Imani?
Miss, how would I explain?
Yeah,
ratio?
what suppose somebody said to you, what is ratio?
Miss, the relation between two amounts or two sets of things.
So the relation or the comparison between two amounts. What would you say, Asar? What's ratio?
Miss, the comparison between two or more things in
in numerical form, right? In numerical form, right? So we're saying, and usually we express we express ratio in the simplest terms. So we cancel down all the numbers to the simplest term, and we express ratio with colons in the middle, and also the ratio does not have any units. So first of all, If they are not in the same unit, we need to first put them in the same unit, and then we cancel the units. So in the final analysis, when we express the ratio, there are no units there, and we express the ratio in its simplest form. Is John with us, Imani?
Miss?
Is John there?
Yes, miss.
John,
Yes, miss.
what's up? Well, go on.
Nothing, miss.
John, you want to start? Number one?
Okay, miss, I'll start.
All right.
Okay. Number one. A sum of money was to be shared among three persons, A, B, and C, in the ratio 2 to 3 to 8. If C receives 1,200 more than B, find the sum of the money shared. Number one.
Again?
Yes, miss. Number one. A sum of money was to be shared among three persons, A, B, and C, in the ratios 2 to 3 to 8. If C receives $1,120 more than B, find the sum of money shared.
How
Okay,
would you approach this, John?
miss, I would approach it, miss. I would add up all the ratios, miss, and I would get
Mm-hmm.
13, miss.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, miss, after I got 13, miss, I'd put the 3 over 13 times the 120, miss, to find B.
But 120 is not the total, They want you to find the total.
Oh, yeah, yes, miss, yes, miss. Miss,
We
because,
would do that if 120 was the total.
uh, hmm, okay,
They want
one,
you to find the total.
yes, miss. Miss, but it says that C receives $120 more.
More than B.
Yes,
So how would we approach it then?
miss. Miss, the 3 divided by 120.
3 divided by 120. That is if that is if B got 120. If they told us that B got 120, then we would divide the 120 by B's ratio, which is 3, to get the unit value of the ratio. But that's not what. B didn't get 120. C got 120 more than B.
Okay, so,
Asar, any ideas on how to approach this?
Miss, I just got an excited idea, but not sure if it's gonna work out.
What's your next idea, John?
Miss, the 8 divided Miss, the 8 divided by 120.
That would be if they told us that C got 120. But they're telling us that C got $120 more than B. So B didn't get 120 and C didn't get 120. C
Okay,
got $120 more than B.
so Miss,
Anybody else has any ideas?
wait, Miss, it be 8 over 13 times the 120, Miss, to get how much money C got. Then you subtract the
No,
one.
we would put 8 over 20, times 120. If the total was 120 and we wanted to know how much C got, then we would put the 8 over the 20 times 120. Imani and Asar, I not like how no quiet. How no quiet, so.
Uh,
Any ideas?
so if C receives,
By the way, is Asar even here? I don't hear him
no,
say.
Miss, he got kicked off. I think he's backstage.
Hold on. No, he's not.
Miss, he's not on my screen.
Oh. Asar, hurry up and join, please.
Mm,
All right. Any idea, Imani?
so C has 120 more than B,
Mhm.
and then
The screen is. You wanna join from the phone?
so 8 over 3.
Wanna join from the phone?
8.
And it doesn't work.
It
Can you see the screen?
yeah.
All right. All right. So look at it, Asar. Any ideas? We want to know the total sum of money shared.
So C is 8/13, and that would equal to B plus $120.
By the way, where John got 20 from, by the way?
Miss, I said 13.
So yeah, Mira said 20, you know, correct me.
Oh, I don't know, Miss.
All right, so let me give you an idea then. All right, so they're saying C got 120 more than B, right? So what we
Okay.
need to do is find out what ratio more than B C got. C's ratio is 8 and B's ratio is 3.
So it's
So
5
we
over
take
8.
away the 3.
Bring me my shirt, please.
So in other words, then the $120 represents 5, a difference of 5. So we can use this to find the unit value of the ratio. So 120 divided by 5, that's what? 25,
No, Miss.
24,
Yes,
20.
Miss. Yes, Miss.
24.
24. Yes, Miss.
So the unit value of the ratio is 24. So to get the total sum of money, we add the 2 plus 3 plus 8,
That's 13.
13, and multiply by the 24. So what's 13 times 24?
3 fourths is
3,
12, and then oh, John said it's 312, Miss.
312. So the total is
12.
312. So let's go over that again. So what we're saying is the crucial thing we need to find is the unit value of the ratio. What one thing in the ratio would value. They didn't tell us what any of the persons got, but they told us a relationship. They told us what the difference was. C got 120 more than B. So if we look at the ratio, the difference in the ratio between C and B, the difference is 5. So the $120 represents the difference of 5 in the ratio. So if we divide the 120 by 5, we find the unit value of the ratio, which is 24. And that now we can use, multiply it by the total ratio to get the total sum of money. All right, so that was John's question. Asar, you can have this question. Read it twice for me, please.
Number 2. A sum of money was to be divided among A, B, and C in the ratio 2:3:5. The largest share amounts to $1,200. The, the total sum of money to be shared is,
Calculate.
calculate the total sum of money to be shared, A share, and the percentage of the total amount that B receives.
Project your voice a little louder for me. Read again.
A sum of money was to be divided among A, B, and C in the ratio 2, 3, and 5. The largest share amounts to $1,200. Calculate the total sum of money to be shared, A share, and the percentage of the total amount that B receives.
All right. I remember when we're reading the ratio, we say 2 to 3 to 5. We use the word 2 for the colon. All right, Asar. So how would we find the total sum of money to be shared?
The largest share is 1,200, which means 5 in that ratio is 1,200.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to find out what is 1 in that ratio. So we divide 1,200 by 5
So this is for part I. So we're dividing the 1,200
to find what 1 unit
by
is.
5 to get the unit value of the ratio, and that is what? 5 into 12.
Um, 2 times.
And 5 into 20.
4 times.
All right, so the unit value of the ratio is $240. So how do we find the total sum of money?
Then we add 2
So
and
2
3
plus 3
multiplied by
plus
240.
5.
They already give us 5.
No, but you're adding up the total ratio.
Plus 5.
Is the total they want, The total they want.
Yeah.
All right, and that give what?
10.
10. All right.
And then we multiply that by 240.
All right, so multiply the 240 times 10. And we know we just add a 0, right? So
Yes, ma'am.
that's 2,400. All right, so the total sum of money was 2,400. All right, what about part II?
A's share is 2 since they correspond with each other. So to find A, we just need to multiply the unit for 1 by 2.
All right, so A's share would be the
240 times 2.
240 times 2,
480.
$480. We could have also put 2 over the 10 times 2004, right? To get A's share, we could have also put A's ratio over the 10 times the total.
That's just we cancel the zeros.
I'm just letting them know that's another way we could have. So we could have put the 2 over the 10 total ratio times 2004
100.
and that would have given us this. So 0 cancels 0, and 2 times 240 would give us the 480. How about part III? The percentage of the total amount that B receives.
B receives 3. So we have to find how much 3 is by multiplying it by 240. So 240 multiplied by 3.
So 240 times 3, which is
0, 12, 7. So then now that we know how much 3 has, we need to put it over the total, which is 2,400. And that goes 3 times, I think.
times 100, right? To
Oh, times
1%.
100.
All right.
So now we cancel the zeros.
And 24 into 72 goes 3
3
times.
times.
So it's 30%. Is there another way we could have worked this?
So we know that 3, that ratio is already kind of in the fraction. So 3 over 10 multiplied by 2,400.
No, by 100.
Yeah.
Because we're expressing it as a percent. So we could have put the 3, because they're asking about B, and B matches up with the 3. We could have put the 3 over the 10 times 100, and we would, of course, get 30%. All right, Imani, number 3.
Okay, Miss number 3. A piece of string is 64 centimeters long. Oh, sorry. A piece of string 64 centimeters long is divided in three pieces in the ratio 1 to 2 to 5. Calculate the length of the longest piece. Miss, so we're going to add all the
Read it
ratios.
twice,
So,
man. Read it twice.
number 3. A piece of string 64 centimeters long is divided in three pieces in the ratio 1 to 2 to 5. Calculate the length of the longest piece. Okay, so we're going to add the ratios, and since the longest side would be 5, we're going to put 5 over the greatest. Oh, sorry, over the um complete ratios. So 1 plus 2 plus 5 is 8,
Mm-hmm.
and it would over 8, and we're going to multiply it by 64
Mm-hmm.
since that's the entire length of the string.
Mm-hmm.
So 8 into 64 goes 8 times, and 5 times 8 is 40.
Mm-hmm.
So 40 centimeters is the length of the longest piece.
Correct. All right. John, number 4.
Okay, miss. Number 4. A piece of wood is divided into three pieces in the ratio 3 to 4 to 2. Sorry, miss. The length of the longest piece is 72. Calculate the length of wood. A piece of wood is divided into three pieces in the ratio 3 to 4 to 2. The length of the longest piece is 72 centimeters. Calculate the length of the piece of wood. Okay, we will add the ratios together.
All right. So 3 plus 4 plus 2.
Miss, that would give 9.
Okay.
Yes, miss, so it'd be the 2 over the 2 over 9 times the 72.
Why are you doing that?
It's because it wants to find the piece of wood.
So why are you putting 2 over
Oh,
9?
oh, sorry. Right, sorry. If it wants the length, since the longest piece is 72 centimeters, it would be 72 over 9.
9 is the total ratio, you know, John.
Yeah.
So 9 represents the 72.
Yeah.
Oh,
Huh?
oh, wait. Huh?
The 9 in the ratio represents the 72. 9 is the total ratio. Oh, sorry, no, the longest piece is
Yes, the longest
72.
piece is
Right. So 9
72.
represents the total ratio.
Yeah.
They want the length of the total length of the wood.
Okay, Miss have an idea of the ratio, Miss. Miss, we would,
Mhm.
Miss, this is my idea, Miss. We could subtract the 9 from the 2, Miss, and get 5.
Subtract the 9 from the 2 and you get 5, John.
No, 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 Miss, sorry, 7. Miss, 7.
What kind of hocus pocus? You're taking 9 from 2 and you get 7,
Yes, Miss. Oh, wait, Miss,
John?
2 from 9. Miss, 2 from 9. 2 from 9 gets
All right, but why are you doing that though? I want to know the logic behind the things that you're doing. Why are you taking 2 from 9?
7. Miss,
They
because
want the
the
length of
first
the
question,
total.
Miss, because of the first question that we did.
So that's a clue. The first question that we did, yeah,
Oh, wait,
there's something
yes,
from
yes, Miss, the wait, Miss, the longest piece from the amount of ratio, Miss. So, Miss, it be 4 from 9, Miss, which give 5.
the 4 from 9 give 5 represent the other two, the 3 and the 2. But that's not gonna help you. Imani, have any ideas, Asar?
Um,
They want the total length of the piece of wood. So the
Um,
length of the longest piece is 72.
that means 4 is 72 centimeters long.
So the 4 represents the 72. So what do we do then?
Calculate length of the piece of metal. What do you mean the whole piece of the metal?
Mm-hmm.
So 4 divided by 72.
72
72
divided by
divided
4. Okay. And that gives what?
by 13.
4 into 7, 1. 4 into 32.
Oh, 32. 8.
All right.
Um, so 18 times 2.
18 times what?
18 times.
The total length of wood. You have to multiply it by the total
Oh,
ratio.
I was gonna
It's
multiply them add up.
No, you don't have to do that. So 9 eighths,
72,
72,
9 ones, 9 and 7.
60.
60.
All right, so let's review this. So we were given the longest piece. So you need to look which of the ratios go with the longest piece and divide the longest piece by the ratio that goes with it to get the unit value of the ratio. Remember, we always want to find the unit value because that's going to help us with anything else we want to find. So since they give us the longest piece and we know the ratio that goes with the longest piece is 4, so we divide the 72 by 4 to get the unit value of the ratio. And we multiply that by the total ratio to get the length of the full piece of wood. All right, Astar, this one was yours.
Number 5. A metal is made from copper, zinc, and lead in the ratio 13 to 6 to 1. The mass of zinc is 90 kilograms. Calculate the mass of the metal. So
Again,
a metal is made from copper, zinc, and lead in the ratio 13 to 6 to 1. The mass of zinc is 90 kilograms. Calculate the mass of the metal.
so the mass
So
of
copper
zinc.
is 13
Mm-hmm. So copper
and
is
90.
13,
So zinc is 90.
zinc is 6, and lead
Zinc is
is,
90 kilograms.
yeah, but in terms of the ratio, copper is 13, zinc is 6, lead is 1 in terms of the ratio. And then the actual kilograms now, zinc is 90 kilograms.
We could we could put 13 to 6 in the ratio. We could do it this way. We put 13 to 6 in a ratio.
Why?
And then see what and then
How could we find the unit value of the
yes
ratio?
miss. To find the unit we could find so put 13 and then colon 6.
13 to 6.
Yes miss.
Uh-huh. And
And to
then
get 1 unit we divide 6 by 6. So then we put 1
to
here.
get 1 unit, you divide the 6 by 6.
Yeah, and then divide 13 by 6 to see
Mm.
yeah. But so first you can divide 90 by 6.
That's what I would do. That's what I would do to get the unit because they tell us zinc is 90 and the zinc is 6, right? So the unit value, we just did it, 90 divided by
Last one said to
6.
try something different.
Okay. So you would have had here what? 2.5 to 1, right?
Yeah.
What would you have done from there?
Then multiply 13 by
13 by 2.5, and you'd get
since
what?
1 unit is 2.5. Huh?
And you'd get what?
Um
So 13 times 2.5, that's
30
32.5. And then what?
and then wait the math. Okay. So it would be 2.5 multiplied by 13 plus 6 plus 1. So it would be 2.5 times 20. That's for the mass of the metal.
So 2.5 times 20.
Yeah.
So that's 50.
So we can try this anyway.
But that couldn't be right because if the zinc is 90, the total couldn't be 50.
Oh,
All right, so 90 divided by 6 is,
15.
so the unit value of the ratio is 15. So the total would be add the ratios and multiply by 15.
That's
So
20
that's
times 15.
13 plus 6 plus 1 is what? 20
Yeah.
times 15 is what?
Mm.
15 times 0 is 0, 15 times 2 is 30. So the total mass is
300.
300 kilograms. All right. Okay, thanks, Asar. Imani, number 6.
Okay, Miss. Number 6. The sum of $2,500 is divided among Peter, Queen, and Raymond. Raymond received half, Peter received $312.50, and Queen received the remainder. Calculate calculate I, Raymond's share, I, Queen's share, I, the ratio in which the $2,500 was divided among the three persons, and IV, the percentage of the total that Peter received. Number 6. The sum of $2,500 is divided among Peter, Queen, and Raymond. Raymond received half, Peter received $312.50, and Queen received the remainder. Calculate I, Raymond's share, Queen's share, the ratio in which the $2,500 was divided among the three persons, and IV, the percentage of the total that Peter received.
All right, so start with I, Raymond's share.
Okay, so Raymond's share is half the $2,500, so we divide the $2,500 by 2.
Which is,
So half of 2,500 is $1,250.
okay. So Raymond received $1,250. Okay,
And
I,
Queen's share, we'd have to add we have to add Peter and Raymond's share. So, and then subtract it from 2,500 because Queen has the remainder. So $1,250 plus $312.50. Yes, that would be
no,
1,500.
uh-huh,
So
1,000.
$1,562.50. And now we have to subtract that from the $2,500 to get Queen's share.
And that is what?
Um, $937.50.
$937.50. All right. Next.
So now the ratio in which it was shared. So basically, we're going to put all the amounts that we have over $2,500, and then cancel it down to see.
They didn't say fraction, they said ratio.
Oh, so it would be Pete. It would be Peter's amount to Queen's amount to Raymond's amount, Miss. Oh, okay. So it would be 312.50 colon
Mhm.
1,250 colon 937.50.
Hold on. Who was given less? Queen. Okay.
Yes.
Queen got this.
No, Miss Queen got
Ki-
937
So now
point.
that must go second.
Miss the.
Yes.
Oh, I read that wrong then. Okay, sorry, Miss.
Queen must go second, right?
Yes, Miss.
All right. So 937.50. And
And then $1,250.
all right. So we need to put this in the simplest form. Check if this number can go into these two.
Okay, Miss.
Divide
So
them and see.
yes, Miss. So wait, let me check the last number first.
Mhm.
Yes, Miss. So that it goes. So the ratio would be 1 to 3 to 4.
Okay. So 1 to 3 to 4. All right. And part I.
Parts
Pay attention.
I I
Sorry, IV.
IV. The
Mhm.
percentage of the total that Peter received. So Peter's amount is 312.50. So we put that over the total, which is 2,500, and we'll multiply that by 100. So
Okay. And that gives what?
312.5 times 100 means 12.5%.
Okay. All right.
Isn't it your season?
Mhm.
Or is it you?
Mhm. Check it.
No, I thought it was something different.
Oh. Thanks, Imani. John number 7.
Okay. Share $150 among John, Mary, and Sarah, so that each of the two girls receive twice as much as John. Calculate the amount. Calculate the amount of money John received. Express John's share as a fraction of the total amount. I express Mary's share as a fraction of the total amount received by John and Sarah. Okay, so number 7. Share $150 among John, Mary, and Sarah, so that each of the two girls receives twice as much as John. I calculate the amount of money John received. I, express John
I.
share. Yes, yes. Express John share as a fraction of the total amount. I express Mary's share as a fraction of the total amount received by John and Sarah. Okay.
All right.
Yes. So miss, since it's three of them, miss, the
Mm-hmm.
150 divided by 3.
But with both, the ratios are not the same. It's not 1 to 1 to 1.
Okay, this would be 2 to 1 to 1. Yes.
2 to 1 to 1.
Oh wait, Miss says that so that each of them get twice as much as John. So Miss the ratio has to add up to more than how much John has, Miss. So okay, Miss 5 to 4 to 4.
5 to 4 to 4.
Miss.
Mary and Sarah each gets twice as much as
Yes,
John.
Miss together.
No, each of them.
Oh,
Each of them get twice as much as John.
okay. So Miss it be 2 to 4 to 4.
Reduce that.
Okay, Miss. 1 to 2 to 2.
Okay. So 1 to 2 to 2.
Okay.
All right. So that's John gets 1, Mary gets 2, Sarah gets 2. All right. So calculate the amount of money John received.
Okay, Miss. So Miss, when you add up the ratio, Miss, you would get 5. So Miss
So
B
1 plus 2 plus
plus
2 gives
but
5.
yes, Miss. And
Okay.
this would be 1 over 5 times 150 over 1.
1 over 5 times 150, which is what?
Miss, it'd be $30, Miss.
All right. So John got
$30.
$30. Okay.
Okay. So Miss,
I
express John shares a fraction. Okay. So Miss, it'd be 30 over 150. We
All right.
spend the
So
right?
30 over 150.
Yes, Miss.
Zeros cancel.
Yes, Miss, it'd be 5.
So 3 into
3.
15, 5.
Yes.
So what's the answer?
It's 5. Miss, 1 over 5. 1 over 5.
1 over 5. All
And
right.
I
And I.
express Mary shares a fraction of the total amount received by John and okay. So Miss, the 30 times 2 would give you 60. So Miss, Mary and Sarah received $60 each. Miss. So
Mm-hmm.
60 plus 30 will give 90. So Miss, it be 30 over 90. No, sorry, Miss, 60 over 90.
All right. So Mary got 60. So 60 over 90,
Yes.
which is what?
Okay, Miss, 60 over 90. Miss, you can divide those by 30, Miss. So Miss, you get 2 over 3.
All right. And you could have just used the ratio, huh?
Huh?
Mary is 2.
Yes.
Sarah and John is 3. 2 over 3.
Oh yes, Miss, I never think of that.
Okay.
You could use an equation.
You could use this. What equation are you thinking of?
Because Mary and Sarah have the same amount since they both 2 at times 1.
Mm-hmm.
So x plus 2x plus 2x equal 150.
Yeah, we could use algebra. Yes, we could to solve it. All right, Asar, this is yours.
Lily, Margaret, and sorry, number 8. Lily, Margaret, and Nancy were each left $12,000 in their uncle's will. Lily decided to spend her money on clothes, holidays, and decorating her flat in the ratio of 4:5:7. How much did she spend on decorating her flat? She spent
Read it twice.
number 8. Lily, Margaret, and Nancy were each left $12,000 in their uncle's will. Lily decided to spend her money on clothes, holidays, and decorating her flat in the ratio of 4:5:7.
4 to 5 to 7.
4:5:7. How much did she spend on decorating her flat?
Mm-hmm.
She spent five 5/16 times 5/16 of her will decorating her flat.
All right, so we add up the 4
Oh,
plus 5 plus 7, which is
16.
16. All right, so decorating our flat,
She spent 5/16 decorating her flat.
5 over 16 times,
16. 16
oh, sorry, times,
times 12,000.
and
3
that
can
gives
cancel
what?
by okay. 3,750. And
Mm-hmm.
that's answer. $3,750.
$3,750. $750. Okay. All right. Imani.
Okay, miss. Number 6. In e- e- wait, in 1985, Angela and John decided to start a business.
No.
Angela invested $240,000 and John invested $160,000. They agreed that all profits should be divided into the same ratio as the sums of the money of the sum. Whew. They agreed that all profits should be divided in the same ratio as the sums of money invested. In 1990, the total profit was $15,000. I. How much was John's share of the 1990 profit?
Sorry. Read it again for me, Imani.
Okay, miss. Number 9. In 1985, Angela and John
Hey.
decided to start a business. Angela invested $240,000 and John invested $160,000. They agreed that all profits should be divided in the same ratio as the sums of money invested. In 1990, the total profit was $15,000. How much was John's share of money? So, how much was John's share of the 1990 profit?
Mhm.
Okay.
So Angela invested 240,000. John invested 160,000. And they agreed that all the profits should be divided in the same ratio as the sums of money. So let's find out the ratio of the sums of money then
Okay.
first.
Total.
So 240,000 to 160,000. What's that ratio?
240,000.
So these zeros can cancel.
Yes, miss. So the
So
ratio would be 2
16
to
into
3.
240.
Miss 16 into 240.
Miss, I think
Miss
you
is
got it wrong.
160,000.
Yes, miss.
So all the zeros are
Yes,
cancelled,
so I
miss.
cancel these three zeros and these three.
No,
Miss, but
miss,
it's
it's
one
4 zeros.
percentage.
4 zeros on each
Yes,
number.
miss.
Oh, six. Okay, sorry. So
Yeah.
six 160 into 240 or so,
Miss 100. No, miss.
or
16 into
eight.
24.
Use
So you can use
eight.
8. So it's 2 to
Yeah,
3.
use eight.
Or 3 to 2,
All
sorry.
right,
3 to 2.
there's 3 to 2. All right.
Yes, miss.
So the ratio is 3 to 2. So in other words, they're saying divide 15,000 profit in the ratio 3 to 2.
3 to 2.
Yeah.
So the total ratio would be over 5. So let's find the 3
So
over
3
5
plus 2,
times
that's 5.
15,000. Yeah.
3 plus 2 is 5. That's the total ratio. All right. So for Angela, it will be what? 3 over 5
Yes, miss.
times
So 3
the
over 5 times
15,000.
15,000. And that would be $9,000.
All right. So this is for Angela. Because she invested the bigger amount, right?
Yes, miss, because she's a material girl.
9,000. All right. You notice so much time your name being used.
Exactly, miss. Why?
You sign contract.
No,
You
miss, I
sign
didn't send
contract
any
with.
contract. No, miss, I didn't send any contract. No, sis.
How them are so much time?
I don't know.
So all your name are used so much
I
time.
don't know.
All right. So how much John going to get now? So John would be 2 over the 5
6,000, miss.
times 15,000. So how much that?
Miss, $6,000.
So John would get Of the profit, John would get 6,000. All right, and it's your turn again, John.
Ah, I hope my name isn't used in this. Oh, good. My name isn't used.
Jason, hey.
Ah, number 10.
All right,
Jason
that's
wins.
pretty close though. Go ahead.
Number 10. Jason wins $480 with a lottery scratch card. He decides to share his money between his friend, Mary, and himself in the ratio of 5 to 7. How much money does each receive? I. Jason spends 20% of the share. What percentage of 400 does Jason now have? Number 10.
$480.
Oh, yes, miss, $480 does Jason have now. Number 10. Jason wins $480 with a lottery scratch card. He decides to share his money between his friend Mary and himself in the ratio of 5 to 7. How much money does each receive? I. Jason spends 20% of his share. What percentage of the $480 does Jason now have? Okay, miss, when you add the ratios, miss, you get 12. So, miss, it be 5 over 12 times the 480, miss. And that is
So that's for
40.
who?
Miss, that's for Jason, miss. 5 over 12 times.
So it's Mary to Jason.
Oh, yes, miss, that's for Mary.
Mary and
Yes,
himself. Mary is 5, Jason is 7.
yes, miss.
So it's about what? 7,
Yes,
right?
yes, miss.
7 over 12
Yes, miss. Times
times
480.
480. And that gives what?
Miss, that gives 40.
Hmm?
Miss, 40.
$40
Yes, miss, $40.
times the 7.
Oh, yes, miss. Miss, $280.
So $280 for Jason.
Oh.
All right. And I says what?
Okay. Okay, miss, I says. Oh, wait, miss, Sister has to
Oh,
find.
each of them, each of them. So how much Mary gets?
Miss 5 over 12 times 480, miss. 7 to 480 does 40 times, miss. So 40 times 5, miss, that's 200, miss.
All right. So Mary gets 200. All right.
Okay, miss. I. Jason spent 20% of the share. What percentage of the 480 does Jason now have? Okay, so let it be 20 over 100 times 480 over 1.
Mm-hmm. And that gives.
Okay, miss, the zeros cancel. The 1 0. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and 10. Oh, yes. So, 2 times 40. Yes, that will give 96.
Mm-hmm.
$96. Mr. 480 from the $96. $480 from 96. Wait,
You're gonna.
$96. $96 from 480.
Are you sure we need to go through all of this?
Miss, because it says Jason spends 20%. Oh, yeah. Miss, Jason spends 20% of the share. What percentage of the 480 does Jason now have?
You sure we need to go through all of this, John?
Oh, wait. Miss, Miss Reddy found out how much money he got when he spent
So
20%.
when we do this, does that give us the answer?
Oh, no, Miss Reddy has the answer for it. It's $96.
What percent?
It's 96%. Wait.
What percent of the 480 does he know? You sure we need to go through
Oh,
all of that?
no, Miss. No, Miss. This is with the four. This four. Oh, sorry, Miss. 100 from 20, Miss. No,
John, 20 from 100.
oh yes, Miss. Sorry.
Why you always saying the number from the other one and is the other thing you mean?
No,
We're
no.
taking 20 from 100.
It's,
And
so
that's
that's
all we needed to do. If
it's
you did it this way, you would now have to put this.
okay.
That's what you end up in here. But if he's spending 20%, he's left with 80%. Huh?
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Let me check the chat. What's happening here?
Yeah, I'm gonna check.
Um, sometimes I forget to come back and check the chat. All right. So we're pretty much 1 hour into it.
How many questions?
I think it's 17 questions. All right, so Asar, the next question is yours.
Number 11. A coach party traveled to Europe for a holiday. The number of days they spent in France, Spain, and Italy were divided in the ratio 3 to 4 to 5. They spent 9 days in France. I. How many days was the complete holiday? I. How many days did they spend in Italy? A coach party traveled to Europe for a holiday. The number of days they spent in France, Spain, and Italy were divided in the ratio 3 to 4 to 5. They spent 9 days in France. I. How many days was the complete holiday? They spent 9 days in France. So they spent
So 9 days in France.
so 3 is equal to 9.
Hmm?
Which so
Mm-hmm.
which means 1 is equal to 3.
Right, so 9 divided by 3. So the unit value of the ratio is 3. All right, so how many was a complete holiday?
That would be 3 plus 4 plus 5 divided by um multiplied by 3.
So 3 plus 4 plus 5 give.
12.
All right, I will multiply by the unit value. So that's,
36 days.
all right, so 36 days in all. And
How many days did they spend in Italy? So that's just Italy multiplied by 3.
mm-hmm.
So 5 times 3, so 15 days in Italy.
All right. And if we wanted to do it the long way, we could put the Italy goes with what, the 5?
Yeah.
We could put the 5 over 12 times 36. But this is the shortest, easiest, simplest way to do it. All right, madam.
Okay.
Your question is going to, yeah, this is your question. Question 12.
Okay,
All right,
miss.
question 12.
Number 12. The scale used for a map is 1 to 250,000. The distance of M from N on the map is 4.4 centimeters. Sorry, miss. Calculate in kilometers the actual distance of N from M.
Again,
Number 12. The scale used for a map is 1 to 250,000. The distance of M from N on the map is 4.4 centimeters. Calculate in kilometers the actual distance of N
from
from
M.
M.
It should be M.
Of N from M.
Yeah.
Okay, miss.
Mm. So the scale that they use on the map is 1 to 250,000.
Okay,
So
miss.
if they
So the
get, so
one
if
would
the
be
place is, so right, so if the distance on the map is 4.4 centimeters, what's the actual distance on the land? But they want it in kilometers.
okay, miss. So we would have to multiply the 250,000 by 4.4 and then change it to kilometers.
Okay, because this would give centimeters, right? All right, so what would this give in centimeters?
Um, Calculator. So it would be 250 times 4.4. Miss, so 1,100,000 centimeters.
All right, and to change centimeters to kilometers, what do we do?
Miss, we use the stairs, so centimeters to
We
centimeters.
divide by what?
We divide by centimeters to kilometers. Let me.
Divide by 100,000.
I totally knew that. a hundred
One.
thousand.
So remember, 100 centimeters make a meter, and 1,000 meters make a kilometer. So it's
Oh
100,000.
yeah. Totally
So
okay.
how many zeros this we canceling? The 5 zeros gone,
Five
right?
zeros gone. Yes, miss.
So it will be what?
11 kilometers.
11 kilometers. All right, John.
Okay. What the? Oh, what? Mr. Chair, this is a racial question.
Application of ratio.
Oh,
It's scale factor. Scale factor is a kind of ratio.
okay. Oh, 13. A scale of 1 to 15,000 is used to draw the map of a city. I calculate the actual distance in kilometers between 2 points in the city, which lies 87 centimeters apart on the map. The actual length of the playground in the city is 25 meters. That
225
is 235 centimeters. Or meters.
meters.
It means meters. Calculating centimeter length on the map. I. Given that the area of the playground on the map is 1.18 meters squared, calculate the width of the playground as shown on the map. Number 13. A scale of 1 to 15,000 is used to draw the map of a city. Calculate the actual distance in kilometers between 2 points in the city, which lies 87 centimeters apart on the map. I. I. I.
I
I. Yes, miss. I. Calculate, no, the actual
actual
length, yes, miss, the actual length of the playground in the city is 225 meters. Calculate in centimeter the length on the map. I. Given that the area of the playground on the map is 1.18 meters squared, calculate,
1.8.
yes, miss, 1.8 meters squared. Calculate the width of the playground as shown on the map. That's it.
All right, so what we do for I?
Okay. Miss for I. Yes, but it says calculate the actual distance in kilometers between the 2 points. Let me
Mm-hmm.
which will change the 15,000 times the 15,000 into kilometers.
No, don't do that yet. Work out the answer in centimeters and then you change it to kilometers.
So 15,000 into in centimeters. Miss?
The scale is 1 to 15,000 on the map.
Yes, miss.
One unit on the map represents 15,000 of that unit in real life.
The miss and says
So the
that
2 points on the map
yes, miss.
are 87 centimeters apart.
Yes, miss. So multiply the 87 times the 15. thousand
15,000. Okay, so
yes,
15,000
times.
times 87.
That's not that. That's a. It's going to give you a big number.
And what is it?
It's 1,305,000.
1 million
Yes, miss.
and what?
305,000.
305,000. And that's centimeters, so change it to kilometers.
Okay, miss. Alright, kick him down, man. No commit my dog.
John, we just did a conversion of centimeters to kilometers.
Yes,
How
miss.
much did I tell you to divide by?
Okay. Miss, you told us to divide by 10,000.
100,000.
Oh, yeah, sorry, miss. 100,000.
All right, so divide that by 100,000.
Okay, miss.
So cancel these three zeros.
Okay, miss.
So divide this by 100, move two decimal places.
Okay, miss. Miss, that would be 13.05 kilometers.
13.05 kilometers. All right, so I.
This is I. The actual length of the playground in the city is 225 meters. Calculate in centimeter length. Okay. So, miss, we're going to multiply the 225 by 10, miss.
By 10.
Yes, miss.
The actual length of the playground in the city
Yes,
is
miss. And it says,
225 meters.
yes, miss. And it says calculate in centimeters, miss.
The length on the map. So you have to go back to the scale.
Okay. Okay. Oh, miss, the 87 times 225 meters.
So you can change this to
Centi-
centimeters.
yes, miss. So that would be 22.5, miss.
No man, multiply it by 100. Changing
Okay.
meters to
Oh,
centimeters.
yes, miss. Yes, miss. I got it.
So it will be 22,000, right?
Yes, miss.
5 point.
22,000. Yes, miss. And then
Um
this the
so this is in centimeters.
yes.
So they want the length on the map. So you have to divide it by the 15,000.
Okay. So 22,500 divided by 50,000. Yes, that's 1.5.
All right, so that's 1.5
8. Then miss me centimeters.
centimeters.
Yes.
All right. All right. So I.
Okay, miss. I. Given that the area of the playground on map is 1.8 meters squared, calculate the width of the playground as shown. Okay, miss. So, miss, you multiply length times width to find the area.
Mm-hmm.
So, miss,
And they give us the area,
yes, miss.
and they want the length.
Oh, miss,
So
okay, miss.
they want the
Miss,
width,
right,
and we just
yes,
found
miss,
the length. Okay.
yes, miss.
So
So,
the
miss,
width would be what?
miss, miss, we find the square root of 1.8.
Is there didn't tell us it was a square?
It says 1.8 meters squared.
Yeah, area is measured in meters, but suppose it's a rectangle.
Oh, yes, miss.
So we know the area, but we just found the length.
Okay.
It's the same
Okay,
playground, you know.
yes, miss. 1.8 over.
So to find the width, how do we find the width?
Miss, will subtract the length from the area, miss.
Are you serious?
Um, oh,
Are
wait.
you serious, John?
Um,
If we know the area and the length, how do we find the width?
um, miss, yeah, Adi.
Remember, remember length times width give area. Length times width give area.
Yes, miss.
So
Oh,
if we
miss,
know the
divide. Miss,
area,
divide.
right, so we have to divide the area
By
by the
length.
length to get the
Yes,
width.
miss. Miss 1.2.
So this would be in centimeters square, and that would be in centimeters. So we know the answer going to be in centimeters. So the width
One,
is
Miss, I
one
got
point
1.2. Yes, Miss, 1.2 centimeters.
centimeters. All right. Okay, Asar, number 14.
Number 14. The plan of a garden is drawn to the scale of 1 to 20. Expressing your answer in centimeters, calculate the length of the line on the plan which represents a path 13 meters long.
Read again.
Number 14. The plan of a garden is drawn to the scale of 1 to 20. Expressing your answer in centimeters, calculate the length of the line on the plan which represents a path 13 meters long.
Okay.
So the thing, the thing is 1 to 20.
All right. So the scale factor is 1 to 20. Uh-huh.
So um,
They want your
that
answer in centimeters.
so that would be 20 times 13 divided by 100.
So 20 times 13. This would now be in meters, right?
Yeah, so then you divide that by
To change meters to centimeters. Do we divide meters to centimeters? The bigger unit to the smaller unit. We would
multiply
multiply. So what's 20 times 13?
200.
260. 260, I believe. And so
Essentially, so 260 times 100, which is 2,000, 26,000 centimeters. Centimeters.
all right. Whose turn is it now? Imani?
Let's see.
Yes, miss.
Okay. Number 15.
Number 15. A scale of 1 to 25,000 is used to draw the map of an island. Calculate the distance in kilometers between 2 points on the island if the distance between them on the map is 36 centimeters. Number 15. A scale of 1 to 25,000 is used to draw the map of an island. Calculate the distance in kilometers between 2 points on the island if the distance between them on the map is 36 centimeters.
Mhm.
So we're going to the for the actual distance it would be so we'd have to multiply the 36 by the 25,000 and then change that back to kilometers.
Okay. So
And
36 times 25,000 is what?
900,000 is
And this is in centimeters, so we need to change it
so
now to
to
kilometers.
kilometers it would be 100,000 is, and I knew that.
I mean, you divide by
Divided by 100,000.
100,000. Okay, so you'd get what?
9 miss
9 kilometers.
9 kilometers.
Okay. 2 questions to go. So that's John's and then Asar's. So John, you go.
Okay, 160. Some years ago, US $1 was equivalent to $3.50. Calculate the amount in US that was equivalent to 84,000. Eight
8,400.
thousand. Yes, 8,000. After the valuation, the valuation, just $1 was worth 70% of its original value. Calculate the new rate of exchange for $1 and hence calculate the amount of Jamaican dollars that would equivalent to US $2,400. Yeah, or 16.
Tell you what, John, read that two more times.
What?
Read it two more times.
Number 16. Some years ago, US $1 was equivalent to Jamaican dollar $3,350. $3.50. Calculate the amount in US dollars that was equivalent to 8,400 Jamaican dollars. After devaluation, one Jamaican dollar was worth 70% of its original value. Calculate the new rate of exchange for $1 and hence calculate the amount of Jamaican dollars that would be equivalent to 2,400 US dollars. Number 16. Some years ago, $1 was equivalent to $3.50 Jamaican dollars. Calculate the amount in US dollars that was equivalent to 8,400 Jamaican dollars. After devaluation, in after devaluation, one Jamaican dollar was worth 7% of its original value. Calculate the new rate of exchange for $1 and hence calculate the amount of Jamaican dollars that would be equivalent to US $2,400.
All right. So work this part first.
Okay, calculate the amount. Okay, calculate the amount in this. Okay, so it should be 8,400. That means 8,400 divided by the $3.50.
Mm-hmm.
That means that the 2,400. So that's how much it was worth. That means it's 2,400.
Okay. All right. And this
And then
part now.
just the seven, one Jamaican dollar, 7%. Okay, so it should be 70 over 100 times 250. This color remove the
Okay.
this.
Mm-hmm.
So that be 350 cents. Hmm.
350 cents.
Yes, miss. So miss that would be $2 and 45 cents.
Okay, so $2.45.
Okay, miss. And then $2, then the 2,400 divided by $2.45. Oh wait, calculate the new rate of exchange for US $1. And yes, okay, miss. So miss the 2,000 2.45 divided by 2,400.
They want to know the Jamaican equivalent of 2,400 US.
That's miss. Yeah, that's miss.
So why are you dividing this time?
Only side multiply.
Right, because they're giving you the US. This over here, they gave you the Jamaican and they wanted the US.
Yes, miss. But now they want Jamaican, miss. So that's
Right, so we
5,000.
multiply
Yes, miss. That's
and
five
that gives
thousand
you.
eight hundred and eighty.
All right, so that's 5,800.
880. Yes, miss. $880.
Okay. All right. And the last question.
Mr.
Sorry.
Cut, if you want.
There was more? No, that's the last question. That's it for your question.
Yes.
All right. Sorry, this is the
Isn't that
last
question?
one. No, that's different topics.
Number 17. By bus or 1 hour and 20 minutes by car. The journey along Route takes 1 hour and 12 minutes by car. Calculate the time the bus will take along Route B. That the bus and car travel along Route B at the same rate as long as along Route A. Number 17. The journey to a town along Route A takes 3 hours by bus or 1 hour and 20 minutes by car. The journey along Route B takes 1 hour and 12 minutes by car. Calculate the time the bus will take along Route B, assuming that the bus and car travel along Route B at the same rate as along Route A. So they want to know how long,
Mm-hmm.
how um
How long it would take along
how
Route
long it
B
would take. They want to know how long it would take.
for the bus along Route B.
Yeah, but
You can read it again. Read it again. Read it out loud again.
the journey to a town along Route A takes 3 hours by bus or 1 hour and 20 minutes by car. The journey along Route B takes 1 hour and 12 minutes by car. Calculate the time the bus will take along Route B, assuming that the bus and car travel along Route B at the same rate as along Route A. They want to know how long a car travels 1 unit in relation to how the bus.
Mm-hmm.
So one
Let's express the hours in minutes. All right. So Route A.
so Route A takes 180 minutes by
So
bus,
the bus on Route A, 180 minutes,
and the bus and the car on Route A
and the car
takes
takes
one. Can we say
1 hour and
one?
20 minutes in minutes is what?
Oh, we changed it to minutes. 80 minutes.
80. Okay. And Route B, the car takes 1 hour and 12 minutes. So that's what?
72
72.
minutes by
72.
bus.
And they want to know what the bus take, right? And it's the same. They're saying it's the same rate.
So
So the same rate, that the same relationship that these two have, So work out what relationship these two have. How much times this one is that one?
the ratio of car to bus in A is 80 to 180.
Give me in unit. So 18 to
1
180.
to 1 to 2.25.
So 1 to 2.25. And that's car to bus, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so 1 to 2.25 would be 72 to what?
72 to to 162.
2.25. 162?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so change that to hours and minutes. So this is in minutes. So change it now to hours and minutes.
2 hours and 3 hours and 10 minutes.
You sure?
Um,
162 divided
two
by,
60s in that.
that's 120. So
Okay.
2 hours and 120 from that.
42 minutes.
2 hours and 42 minutes. Okay. So that's that. So we've gone through 17 questions on ratio and proportion. I wonder why Iman is shining so bright this evening. Where's John? Where John gone?
Missy's right here.
Oh, okay. All right, so you guys going to enjoy your weekend, right?
Yes,
What
we
you plan to do for the weekend?
celebrate mom's birthday.
Oh, mom's birthday.
Yes, miss.
Which month we in again? February?
February. Missy was actually Monday, but we're celebrating it this weekend.
Okay. So big things going on over there.
Not really.
Tell mom happy belated birthday.
Yes, miss.
All right, and you guys take care until Monday.
You too, miss.
All right, Asar, goodbye. Take
Bye,
care.
Ethan. Bye.
Bye, sir.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye, miss.
Okay, so let me remind you of our schedule of classes. Here we go again. Thank you for joining us. Those in the chat, thank you for posting your comments and your answers. As always, you are welcome and we appreciate your participation. Hello CSEC math students, I know you are busy preparing for your math tests and your CSEC exams coming up. I have a very important question to ask you. Do you like my new hat? Thank you. Now another important question. Have you ever gotten a math problem wrong simply because of making one little mistake? I'm sure you have, as thousands of other students have. Now in this series, we're going to be looking at the common mistakes that students make with all the topics in CSEC Math. We're going to look at the common errors, demystify everything, make sure you watch every video in this series so that you can avoid making those mistakes. So stay tuned. Hello scholars, did you know that most times when students get problems wrong in mathematics is as a result of one single error or one mistake? Well, this is absolutely true, and we're going to be looking at the common errors that students make in the different topics in mathematics. If we know the errors beforehand, we can certainly avoid making them. Are you ready? Come on, take my hand.